We're waiting for it to go live. It's not quite there yet.
No, I was gonna say, is there tried to okay?
It could be attractive cake.
It'd be funny if it was live and everybody heard this discussion about red velvet cake.
It's important.
Well, it's live now.
All righty. Are you ready?
I'm just admitting the people in the waiting room.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And we're ready to go.
Sounds good. All righty. Good evening, everyone. I am calling this meeting of the Isla Vista Community Services District to order at 6:02 p.m. I'd like to announce this meeting is being recorded. And can we get a roll call vote?
Director Carmichael,
Here.
Hobart,
Here.
Brandt,
Here.
Palat,
Here.
Seapost,
Here.
Toplin.
Here. Sounds good. All right. Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge the Chumash people who are the traditional custodians of this land. We pay our respects to Chumash elders, past, present, and future, who call this place Anaskoyo, the land that Isla Vista sits upon, their home. We are proud to continue their tradition of coming together and growing as a community. We thank the Chumash community for their stewardship and support, and we look forward to strengthening our ties as we continue our relationship of mutual respect and understanding. Now we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Do any directors have items they'd like to pull for discussion?
We're happy to answer questions about the policies.
I'll move approval.
Oh, do you have a hand?
No.
What's the buy local policy?
It's a policy to prefer that we first look at Isla Vista businesses and then Santa Barbara and then outside the area if we're buying anything. And that we'll do a report every year about how much of our funds go to local businesses, just so that we know how much we're putting back in.
Any items to be pulled?
Motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
All righty, we get a voice vote. All right, all directors in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Alrighty, consent agenda passes. Alrighty, now it is the time for public comment on matters that are not on tonight's agenda. If you have a comment on a later agenda item, we will take those comments later in the meeting. Does anyone have a public comment? Yeah, take it away.
So the parking enforcement has been working out fantastic.
It hasn't started yet.
Actually,
But the
they've
foot
been
patrol,
issuing tickets.
the foot patrol, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, county works came in and red painted a lot of the
Mhm.
curbs and everything. And it solved a lot of, the biggest challenge is still unregistered vehicles and stored vehicles. So that's still the biggest challenge, but that's being chipped away at, rather effectively. So, I think it's taken off really good. Even though the parking program is not going yet, it is definitely kicking off in a good way, kind of getting the message out. Segovia, the street I live on, was the worst, in my humble opinion. Well, I get the numbers to prove it, but it seems to be, situations seem to be rectifying themselves. So whatever's going on is definitely a good precursor to when the program fully kicks in. So I think that that's a really good thing. And, it's going to be a challenge, but challenges are there to be met. So you got my support on that, and I think it's a good thing.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I can give an update that we've given out our second round of fake tickets.
Sure.
That was a couple weeks ago, or 1 to 2 weeks ago. And so people did get notices about the rules. It was just a pink slip that has all the parking rules on it. It did say everyone got one, not just people.
Everyone parked on the street?
Everyone parked on the street got one. Yeah. So this is the second round we've done. And we worked with the county to get those. We might be the only place in California with all the red curbs compliant with the daylighting law.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe it is actually.
But
Wow.
we think every curb has them now. We did a check ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's Public Works did that?
We worked with Public Works, but we scouted, we
pushed
bird
for
dogged
it.
for them, essentially.
Well, good for us.
Saw the trucks in the area doing their work.
Yeah.
Now the next step is abandoned bicycles.
Yeah, a further program. Yeah. That was good. Thank you for the update. Yeah. Any other public comments?
Am I allowed to speak on something that's on the agenda?
For stuff on the agenda, we'll take it when we get to the agenda item.
I see.
Yeah, just for
Okay.
things
I'll
not
make a
on the
general
agenda.
public comment then.
General? Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Oh, thank you, board. I've had discussions, or I've been here before to talk about cityhood. I've had discussions with several of you about the pros and cons of cityhood. So I would like to offer myself up as someone who is involved in Associated Students and who tries to be involved in the local community. If you need help at any point with either searching for contributors to any projects that may come up relating to cityhood, or otherwise collaboration with associate students, I just wanted to come before you guys again and say that I'm here. I have some of your contacts. Feel free to reach out to me, and that any steps that you may take towards understanding the feasibility of cityhood, that I would strongly support. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Alrighty. Any further general public comments? Do you have any hands on Zoom?
Mm-mm.
No? Alrighty, last chances. Last chances for public comments. Alrighty. Seeing no hands either on Zoom or in person, I'm now closing the public comment period, which brings us into our discussion and action items. First on the agenda, 4.1 mid-year financial update.
All right, I apologize if this wasn't in the folder. For some reason, I thought I had put it in and it wasn't in there, so I do apologize that I didn't make it in. But it is done, and I will share it now. And our financial update, spoiler alert, it's good.
Good.
We have a good financial position right now.
Yay.
You can see it's been 67% of the year has gone by,
Mhm.
and we have brought in 40% of our revenue. A lot of it is big chunks that we're waiting on, but if you look at the tax, which is the one that comes in every month, that's at 56%, and that's lagging by 1 month always. And so 1 month is about 10%. So it is pretty much on target. We just, we collect the taxes for that are being paid now a month late. So we get like the end of the fiscal year, end of July, for example. So we're right on target with tax revenue, and spending is at 54%. And again, compared to 67%, a lot of the expenses for the festival haven't gone out yet. So that's, holding back some of the expenses, but generally things are looking right on target. The salaries one, which is like our fixed costs that have to be spent, that's at 56% compared to 67% allowed. So things are looking good. And we do predict that we will come out with pretty much our exact revenue that we originally predicted, plus the 140,000 from AS Program Board would be taking us over the top, like past what our initial projections, just because, that was not originally planned in the budget to get that funding back in August. And same with the spending, we'd expect the spending to be also $140,000 past projections, because the original budget for the festival in August was 110, and now it's 280,000. And then the budget adjustment you see later on the agenda is moving funds from the safety stations that are not going to be spent this year to this item. So we come out, I don't want to say ahead, but we're coming out in a good position. So things are looking good with our mid-year financial update this year.
Wonderful. Any board questions, comments, deliberations? Yes.
So I just want to make sure I'm reading right. So the line 9, the sponsorships, that 144,000 figure in column F is unrealized revenue that we know that it's committed, but it hasn't hit our account.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we expect it by June 30th.
Okay. And our estimated actuals are that we're going to be in the black by 257,000.
Yeah, that's mainly because of the county loan for the parking program. That's what's driving that. So that 257,000 is to go into the account, like a reserve account, to pay for future years of the parking enforcement program.
Okay, I see.
Any further board deliberation? Think I did this out of order, but any public comment for this agenda item? Person in Zoom? No. Alrighty. Well, I think we're all ready to move on to our next agenda item, the Isla Vista Cityhood Preliminary Comprehensive Fiscal Analysis.
Okay, so we have talked about this before, and we talked about this in in December and in November. And so in December and November, I presented to the board what some next steps would be, which is to go out for a proposal and look for funding. We were not able to get our external funding goal met of $25,000. So we reached 10,000 from associated students. And so the ask from the board is now slightly higher than before, which is 40 instead of 25,000 to fund the study. But the study is similar to past studies. However, it is very squarely a preliminary comprehensive fiscal analysis for a city, which is more than what has been done in past years. The other ones were government option studies that had a city component attached to them, whereas this is going to be squarely focused on potential cityhood and the feasibility of that. It's going to be a 4-month project, and we do have some student groups who've offered to work with us on doing some of the work. So we are saving some time and money by having some tasks done by student groups like Gaucho Think Tank. And we've already collected a lot of the preliminary documents. So a lot of this study is going to be meeting with key stakeholders, especially the county, getting the property tax information, the sales tax information, and the transient occupancy tax information, and also some of the expenses from the county in Isla Vista. And yeah, like I said, it's expected to be done by July. And at that point, it's definitely a research study. It's not declaring anything. It's not forcing us to do anything. It's information. And I think I already went over this in the last time we talked about this at the December meeting, but there's been significant changes since the last time a study was done. Our property tax valuation is at 1.3 billion now, and it used to be 700 million. That's one big one, for example. And also the spending on law enforcement in Isla Vista has gone down since then. Nominally, it's the same. It's both like about 3 to 4 million, but 3 to 4 million 10 years ago, 3 to 4 million now. That's deflationary. So those are the two biggest numbers in a cityhood study: is the law enforcement and the property tax. And since those have had significant changes, we're looking forward to see, what a potential city budget would be. I had conversations with the second district office just to keep them apprised, and the Ivy Rec and Park district. So I met with both those groups to keep them, informed of what this is, and invited them to be part of a work group that would oversee the study, as well as associated students, the other financial partner. Happy to answer questions.
I just noticed that on the proposal, it says 50,500. So what's the discrepancy?
So 50,005. Oh, I just wrote 40,000. That's my mistake. So we need 40,500 from the district, and 10,000 is from associate students.
Further board comment? Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the background of the consultant that we're contracting with?
Yeah. So Richard Berkson, he has worked in the past 2 cityhood studies, the one in 2001 and the one in 2015. He was working previously with a firm called Economic Planning Systems, which was doing these, and then he spun off and made his own firm now. So he's who we approached instead of EPS, because he was the principal on these from the other 2 times. He's pretty excited to get going on this.
Excellent. And so I guess with the work that they're going to do, they're going to collect all of this data from the county, from UCSB, from us, from other partners. What's the scope of that look like?
A lot of the data has been collected. It's not a lot of data to collect. They're gonna do some proprietary math equations that no one else can do. There's this thing called the auditor's ratio, which is what drives the whole calculation of what so they help do the analysis of what property tax is transferred to the city. And this is the key thing in the whole study, the whole process is how much property tax do we get? So there's like three numbers. There's how much property tax we actually generate. There's how much property tax the auditor's ratio says we're owed. And then there's the property tax the city would actually get. These are all three different numbers. And so we will look at all three numbers and compare them, because this is just a thought exercise. Like, let's say we generate 4 million in property taxes. There is a chance that the auditor's ratio says we're owed 5, but the county's not obliged to give us 5. So the real number we get would be somewhere in between, or maybe 4. It depends on the negotiation. So they help figure out that number of, what is owed, what is generated, and what could be a potential middle number. If it needs to be in the middle, we don't know. So that's the main thing that's done, is the property tax transfer. I mean, there's other things that are done, but I could figure those out for the most part. Like, they're not even rocket science. Not even, a lot of them are just pretty clear costs, but it's the property tax number. That's the main thing we need to know, and the auditor's ratio. Because the auditor's ratio, it also drives the calculation of what the county is losing. Because it's the main equation we're looking at is like, how much does the county stop spending? How much does it stop earning? And is that a surplus or a deficit for them? So we'll figure that out. I mean, that's the main key piece of information. If the county has a surplus from this, then we could do this tomorrow, right? Like, it makes it much easier. If there's a deficit to the county, there's a longer road ahead potentially, or just like more complicated road ahead. So it just clears up all these numbers, like who's owed what, who generates what's already being spent, and will they make money or will they lose money on the deal?
So this is really about the potential revenue analysis. It's not committing us to budgeting a certain way.
No.
Or committing us to any pathway of going down the cityhood incorporation process with LAFCO.
No, it doesn't commit us to anything. I mean, there will be some model costs for what a city budget would be, and those are only the basics of what a city needs to spend money on, which is like public works, road maintenance, police, animal control. Those are like in the government, like you got to do those things. And road maintenance comes from the state. Like, it's already, a lot of it is like calculated money from the state gives from the gas tax. So the police spending, 9 times out of 10, when you do a cityhood proposal, you're just using what's already been spent on police. And we know that, like, we know that number exactly to the day and the dollar being spent. So we know what the sheriff charges for administrative overhead to the cities of Goleta and Solvang and Carpinteria. So we can easily calculate that. So a lot of these numbers exist. We just are putting them together and doing some of the proprietary equations that we're not able to do.
Can you explain what the revenue neutrality means?
Yeah, so that's what I was just talking about with like the county. Will they make or lose money on this? So when the city of Goleta was formed, for example, the county was seeing themselves saying, we're going to lose more revenue than we're losing expenses. So they said to the city of Goleta, you owe us a certain amount of money to break away. So Goleta spends 50% of their property tax and 30% of their sales tax straight to the county every year to make up for them leaving. It's a controversial thing in California, and it's I don't think it's right personally the way it works, but Goleta made that deal and accepted the deal, and the voters accepted it when they approved their city, but it was part of the negotiation with the county. It's the big sticking point, potentially.
Is that something that can be then changed at a later date by another vote?
I
Like,
don't know.
could Goleta get out of that agreement?
It's hard to say. It's unprecedented. I think they have the only forever RNA in the state.
Oh, wow.
Most cities do 30 years,
Uh-huh.
but I think they took the deal because they wanted to be a city that bad. I don't know, I wasn't here, but it's possible. It's probably possible. I think the voters are the ultimate authority in California, so if it did somehow make its way back to the ballot, maybe, but the
be
county would
changed,
have
yeah.
to maybe agree, yeah.
Which is that traditionally they do a 30-year or something and then move off and be properly independent.
Yeah, that's how other cities have done it, but Goleta, I think, really is the only forever RNA.
Okay.
How does that work with like, I guess the services being provided? Like, does the county still provide services to Goleta with that
No.
revenue? So
No.
they're just getting the money and not necessarily required to do anything with it?
It's complicated, yeah. The county says that they need the money for overhead and for continuing to serve Isla Vista. It doesn't go to a special pot for us though. And it's a debate, like City of Santa Barbara, they just formed so long ago that they still get county services, right? Like the district attorney, behavioral wellness, the jail. Taxpayers in City of Santa Barbara pay for that, right? Like some taxes still go to the county, but they're not doing revenue neutrality with the county. So that's why I'm like, it is a controversial thing, this revenue neutrality, but it's part of state law. And it is negotiated, so.
And it's
It's-
not uncommon for the county to contract with cities to provide services, like police or.
Animal control will probably, that was last time just said, you contract back to the county animal control. So that's included in there, will we make or lose money? Like if we're contracting back with the county for the foot patrol services essentially, or like for policing services, then they charge us 15% overhead for that. So they're spending 3 million less, then they're getting 3 million back plus 15%. So, but then you get control over the contract, which is what we do not have now. And there's a chance, sorry, I'm so deep in the weeds on this, but like there's a chance that like the foot patrol budget, like what's already seen as like the full budget for foot patrol, already includes the administrative costs because it is like a full-fledged substation of the sheriff's department. So I don't know. I mean, we'll have this is part of the study is we'll see how would this work. Talk to the sheriff's department. All right, if we were going to do a contract for these many officers and this level of service, how much would it cost? And but usually the standard is to just use the most recent actual numbers for law enforcement, at least. That's what I've been told.
Any further? No, I guess, any public comment on this item?
Yeah, I would like to voice my strong support for adopting this financial motion or making this financial motion and approving it. Associated Students has contributed, we as a Senate contributed $10,000 to the study. And so we would love to see the remainder of it covered, whether by IVCSD or not. Obviously, that's up for you guys to decide. But as you guys have discussed, I think a lot of important information will come to light from the study. And so I want to voice my strong support for it. And yeah, just kind of hope to continue fostering a spirit of collaboration between AS and IVCSD.
Thank you.
You have a hand on
Oh,
Zoom, John
yes.
Doe.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to make a comment. I think UCSB PD should be going out into the community. I think it's ridiculous. There's two different agencies that are patrolling that area. UCSB PD goes out to that community to do traffic stops, to get the numbers up and commit fraud. So I don't think they should be allowed to go up into that neighborhood.
Yeah, thank you for your comments.
Well, first of all, UCPD is a state police, so they have jurisdiction in anywhere in California, just like CHP does. CHP is now state police, but that's another issue for another time. Cityhood. So a financial study is definitely necessary. You're going to have to do that. But the other study that needs to be done this is not, I think that the financial thing is looking at things on an X and Y basis.
Mhm.
What you need to look at is X, Y, and Z, and then you got Z prime, Z double prime. Meaning that there needs to be a civic study. Why cityhood? Who's for it? Who's against it? Why are they for it? Or why are they against it? There needs to be a more comprehensive study down the line, which I'm sure it will be. This is just a preliminary, to get things going. But you have to figure out, what the interests are of the community, and not just the community of UCSB. I'm talking about the community of Isla Vista, and that includes the West End community. Then there's people, you also have to include the families that live on the northwest end of Isla Vista as well. And there's people like me who, we don't go to UCSB anymore, but we live here. So you got to have a civic study, to follow this up, because finances can always be fudged. It can always be finagled, manipulated to go one way or the other. When you start getting the word from people, why this or why not that, that's when you start really getting into the depth of cityhood proposals and things like that. So it's the same thing like with Goleta when they applied. I was there at all the meetings and stuff with LAFCO and everything. And there's a lot of civic-minded arguments or discussions about it. So, and Goleta is a relatively new city, 1999 and officially in 2003. Relatively new. That's not even 30 years. So things to consider going forward. There will be more studies that would need to be done, not just financial, but like I said, civil or civic studies. So just prepare yourselves for that one.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other hands on Zoom?
No.
No more hands in Zoom, more hands in the room. Any further? Yes.
Well, I just want to say a big thank you to our team for putting this together, and a really big thank you to the Associated Student Senate for allocating funding and putting your money where your mouth is, and wanting to help support this effort. I think it doesn't even need to be said that Isla Vista is one of the most unique communities in California, possibly in the United States and in the entire world. And so I think that we as a board have heard so much feedback from those that want to see our governance structure match our community's uniqueness and be able to be responsive to that. I know from having worked for the county previously, and from working collaboratively with them through this role, that they provide a lot of really important functions to the community. And they also provide a lot of services that we never even see, that are like the bedrock of the social safety net. Our social services, our mental health services, behavioral health services, they really are like an arm of the state almost in that way. And that is always going to be their top priority. What I think that the community is desiring is a governance structure that allows those that live here to be able to put in place programs and services that are responsive to the local needs, the things that aren't these higher order issues that the county is so good at, and focusing on more of the community scale sort of things. Very similar to how we created this body. And I will tell you, Henry, I am so confident that as this process moves forward, we're going to do a really good job of getting everyone in the room together, to get everyone to have a seat at the table. And the reason I feel confident in that is because we all did it together before. We did this in 2015 and 2016, and 2017, 2018, when we created the IVCSD together. And so I feel really confident in that. But at the end of the day, this is, as Jonathan said, just like a really complicated math problem. And we need to have all the facts to understand, is this a solution that the community should be in dialogue about and talking about, or is this just a pipe dream? And we're not going to know until we do the math. And so there's a lot of reasons, I think, to be hopeful that the numbers are going to look different this time. I mean, for one, the voters have approved another $1.8 million in taxes through Measure R. There's been additional development in the community. There is the cannabis storefront retail in our community that's bringing more dollars in locally. And there's the fact that the last time the study was done, it was done right after a riot and a mass shooting, and crime was 50% higher than it is today. And so there was a necessity for more of that spending. I don't know what the number is now. I'm sure we'll ascertain it throughout this process, but I'm sure that it can't be as high as it was inflation adjusted back then because of all the challenges we were dealing with back then. So you kind of start to squint around the edges and see how there could be something viable here, but we just won't know until we get this study done. And Berkson, this firm, they have worked on City of Goleta. I also saw online that they worked on the City of Mountain House. City of Mountain House is the last, most recent city to form in California. And it's the only one that's formed in California in a really long time. And so we really do have the professionals on board for this one, I think. And I'm really excited to support it and get started with learning how, getting an idea of what the reality is here on the ground.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I feel very similarly. I think it's important to just do this preliminary study because we won't know anything until then. And I also agree with the civic impact and really looking at that. I think that just in my time at UCSB, I've realized that the majority of students I've interacted with do not have civic literacy or understand what's going on in Isla Vista. And I think that's really important. I think that culture and understanding in Isla Vista is probably a lot different than it was in 2015 and 16 and 17 and 18. So I think that's something to consider regardless of what the analysis says about cityhood. I think that efforts at greater civic literacy are worthwhile. So.
Yeah, I'll close this out. First with thank you to staff for getting this very complicated, comprehensive thing together quickly on top of everything else you're doing. And also the thank you to associated students, both for, the financial support, but also just for, coming here for our meetings and sitting with us and, working through, keep pushing that. And of course to our community who's always here and helping us, keep pushing along. But yeah, I mean, just to echo my fellow board members are saying, we won't know what the numbers are until, right, what the numbers are, and we, no use in having conversations about a pipe dream. But yes, and also we certainly need more civic attention, in Isla Vista. Would be getting everyone in, together in a room multiple times over to, talk this through what we want, what we need, and also just greater education. I talk to people, I go, oh yeah, IV, like, what is that? Like, it's a city, it's a town, what's the difference? It's unincorporated. People are like, what does an incorporated community even mean? Wait, who is the county? Is it different than, city of Santa Barbara? So definitely getting the community together to see, hey, obviously we know that the level of services we have doesn't match our level of need. So how can we get it there so that Isla Vista can, finally be served with what we all need and deserve? And hopefully this will be a first step towards getting our service level to match our need level. Yeah. Alrighty. With that, we take a vote to consider approval of the $40,000 and professional services agreement. We get a.
I'll make that motion to approve $40,500.
Oh yes, thank you, thank you.
And gratefully accept the associated students' contribution of $10,000.
Yes, yes. Do we hear a second? A second, perfect. Can we get a voice vote? Or roll call, sorry, I asked for the wrong thing. Can we get a roll call?
Director Carmichael,
Aye.
Hobart,
Yes.
Brent,
Yes.
Palat,
Yes.
Depot,
Yes.
Coughlin.
Yes.
Right, well, the yeses have it. All right, thank you, guys. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, of course.
Have a
Good luck with
nice
week 10.
Thank you.
All your finals, yeah. Yeah. All righty. Moving us on to agenda item 4.3, resolution 2615, authorizing enforcement of county parking regulations pursuant to the California Vehicle Code and county bail schedule.
All right, so this is a routine item essentially that we have to do as part of establishing the parking program. What we're doing here is we're saying that we will be writing parking citations off of the county's approved, County of Santa Barbara's approved uniform bail schedule, which was approved in 2014. Here's the bail schedule. Essentially, the ticket prices are $37.50 with $25 going back to the district. We are talking to the county about updating this because it's very out of date and the costs do not carry our expenses. Not that we're trying to make money on this, we're not trying to cover all of our expenses, but $25 a ticket is very low comparative to other nearby agencies. And so we are looking at that, but in the meantime, we're legally only able to use the county's prices. So those don't include an escalations model like we had originally wanted to do. And it is pretty, standard what the prices are across the board. There's some of the violations like handicap parking is higher than 3750, it's like 200 something. Same with the bus zone. But so some of the tickets we'd write that are these other violations would be higher, and then 1250 would go to the state and the rest would come to the district. But yeah, so I don't want to, yeah, it is not our original plan to do it like this, but we will at least be able to start writing tickets in April, and there won't be a major change from what people have experienced already.
Okay.
And we can look at a change to this hopefully in the near future.
Can I ask what, oh wait, sorry.
No, please go.
But, what was like the comparative price of tickets to other local agencies?
UCSB charges $50.
Mm.
City of Santa Barbara closer to 60. Placer County, which is a very different county, but they just approved an escalation schedule. They're charging $100 a ticket. That's pretty high. So that's again not comparative, it's not nearby, but just Santa Barbara and UCSB alone have higher prices on their tickets. And again, the price of the ticket, the theory of the case is that we want to change behavior at the curb. And so if the ticket price is too low, it does not create an incentive to either pay for off-street parking or to change someone's behavior of rampant, and that's the escalating model, right? Like if someone is continually breaking the law over and over and over, we'd want that to be known, but that's not able to be done right now. But because we know like those are two things that we uniquely have here. It's not just random violations. It's we think that some of the it's some individual cars that are the biggest rule breakers versus maybe 90% of people aren't doing anything wrong potentially. So yeah, so it's going to make it harder for us to achieve our goals at this price, and it's going to be harder for us to afford the program. And we'll need to look at that in the future, whether the current price could sustain. But I think this is going to let us get started and start modeling and we don't even know exactly how many tickets we'll write in a month yet. We have an estimate of 300 a month, and that's based off of what the foot patrol's been able to do. But we don't know if that's going to be double or half or anything in between.
So I think I'm understanding this. So we need to adopt the county's fee schedule for now, but it sounds like we need to ask for what it looks like Carpinteria and Goleta have on this fee schedule, which is their own special section that includes their own more customized fees. Because I agree, like this, I think our board's been super consistent on the escalation is the strategy here. I have no problem with the current fee schedule. In fact, I think it's pretty forgiving. If you look at, I just pulled up City of Santa Barbara to see what it is. And it starts at 55, goes up to 65. But I think the challenge that we have is if we are staying in such a low away, then we're not gonna be able to change behavior. And this was a part of our adopted parking action plan to say we want escalating systems. That's an important part of changing behavior. So can we direct staff to ask the county to give us our own section?
Yeah, so we're trying to figure that out, what's possible, like Carp and Solvang and Goleta, they're cities, so they're able to pass their own ordinances. So like you see on the left side where it says section, it says BC 10101, that's like Buellton code, whatever. And so we need to either have a county code special for IV or the whole thing changed. But even then with the individual cities, I thought I was still sharing my screen. So like the special ones for Carp, a lot of these are, the standard ones, a lot of them are like unique things. But if they don't have it here, it defaults to this section on the right. It's just kind of confusing, right? Like Carp has its own list for some violations. If one of those violations, if something is violated that's not on that list, it just defaults to the county standard price. So yeah, I've been in contact with our assembly office, who we're trying to figure out if this goes only through the Superior Court or through the County Board of Supervisors or both. A lot of people, no one who we've talked to so far was around in the 2014 update. So that is something we're still trying to uncover, but our assembly office has been helping, and County Public Works is aware, and so is Foot Patrol and our supervisor's office. So they all know about the situation, and we have different ideas of what we could propose. One was Director Hobart came up with, which is keep the prices the same and then add the escalation on top of these. So we'll see what is amenable, and if it's even possible for the county to make an IV section, or if they have to change it wholesale.
Is there like a repeat offenses, like extra charge?
Not right now. That's what we're looking to do. That's
Oh, yeah,
that's
that's
the
what I
goal, is to get the repeat.
Because I think one of the problems that UCSB has with parking, at least like I've had friends who like will drive to the library and not pay for parking, and they just stack up tickets until it's like they have like thousands of dollars in parking fees. And it's like I know multiple people who would do that.
It goes
Yeah.
on their registration.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so that is the good thing
Why do they
here,
do that?
is that we do have, like, yeah, these tickets go to their DMV, so
Yeah.
they wouldn't be able to register their car again without paying the tickets. So
Correct.
that's like the hook to
Yeah,
pay
yeah,
these tickets.
Yeah.
So we're lucky to be able to, it was in question if we were gonna be able to write parking citations instead of like something else. But no, it is parking citations. So they do go to the DMV.
Yeah.
Then to the registered owner, which might be this student, might be their parent.
Yeah.
For me, it was both.
Interesting.
Any further board questions, deliberation, comment? Public comment?
We have one on Zoom, John
Oh.
Doe.
Yeah, sorry, you shot up his hand first, so we can take on Zoom.
Yeah, I don't understand why you're requiring the sheriff and UCSB PD to go out and write citations when they claim that they don't have enough officers. So I think that's completely false, because majority of the time they're going out acting like they have nothing better to do as it is. So I think this community stop wasting money doing this and find better things to use the money on.
Thank you for your comment. Do you have any other hands on Zoom? Henry, take it. Yeah.
Zoom, not in person.
Take it.
As far as policing in Isla Vista, when I first moved here in '87, in the daytime, there was anywhere from 5 to 6 officers. At nighttime, there was anywhere from 8 to 10, and population was only 13 to 15,000. Now we got a population of 25,000. We got 3, maybe 4 officers in the daytime, 5, maybe 6 officers at night. So over policing is definitely not a case. Now,
It is over police. Why do they go across the interstate to do traffic stops? Why does UCSB go across the interstate to do traffic stops then?
Excuse me, please mute yourself. We have to take
Let me
public comments
figure-
one at a time. We have to take public comments one at a
Stupid bitch,
time.
I'll go to your
Thank you.
fucking neighborhood, make sure
Hold on.
you're aware that you're supporting a UCSB PD, you dumbass bitch.
Can we pause
You're
the
gonna learn
meeting?
about me.
Excuse me,
You will
excuse
learn
me,
about me.
if you continue to use the
You will
language
learn
you're
about me, bitch.
using,
We'll have
we are allowed
we'll
to
have
kick you
public
out of
comment
the
at your house,
meeting.
bitch. We'll have public comment at your house, you
Yeah.
dumb bitch.
Oh, that'd be great.
All right,
Yeah.
we're
You're
gonna have to
defending a
remove
cult.
you.
You are defending UCSB PD.
Okay.
Wow, it's our first
Hi,
Zoom
everyone.
bomb in 6
Okay.
years.
Thank you for hanging in there.
Oh, not a
All
problem.
righty, now take it
Hey,
away.
you can't make this up. Anyway,
Sounds good.
so the thing about parking tickets, you have to consider, and Jonathan bringing this up, about Superior Court.
Mhm.
You know, you have to comply with the Eighth Amendment of the US Constitution, which is no cruel and inhuman punishment, no excessive fines. So you have to keep that in mind when coming up with a new fee schedule for parking tickets. Now, one of the problems that you do have in Iowa Vista is you do have what is referred to as a scofflaw, and those are repeat offenders. How do you approach a repeat offender? Well, there's two ways of doing it. Stacking the parking tickets, like we were talking about with the library parking.
Mhm.
And that usually leads to something with the Department of Motor Vehicles, but I think it has to go a little bit before that, or beyond that. When I was growing up in Florida, if you had excessive parking tickets, you got an FTA, that's a failure to appear.
Mhm.
That means now you gotta go to court. And, you know, puts you subject to the legal system. So this is something to consider. That's not cruel and inhuman punishment, that's just administrative procedure.
Mhm.
So it doesn't violate the Eighth Amendment. Another thing too, the types of violations, you know, there's a schedule for the types of violations that occur. You know, parking in a red curb, $37. Parking for more than 72 hours, okay, $37.50. Then you get into the thing about like storing vehicles, out of registration vehicles, handicap parking. You know, these are things that definitely increase. But then you have the ultimate thing of the parking scofflaw, the repeat offender. And that's the one that you're gonna have the biggest problem with. You're gonna have to establish a database. I'm sure the parking program will do that, is establish a database. That is something that could be very easily analyzed. Another thing too, though, that scofflaws tend to do, they tend to write their registration to somebody else. So you're gonna have to find out exactly who that car belongs to, who is the person operating that vehicle, not just who it's registered to. So this, you know, these are challenges that are gonna have to be met along the way. And I think it can be done, and whatever help on the data analysis you need, you got an engineer right here. Put me behind an Excel spreadsheet, and you got all kinds of numbers. I should do the cityhood study, but anyway, just joking. But you know, the thing is, it's going to be a very challenging task going forward, and I think that you know, another thing too is the what's the word I want to find here? Consistency of the program. You know, how are you going to know cars are for 72 hours? You're gonna need, you know, if you have off days, you know, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then the next week would be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday, like that, you know, just kind of an offset, just things like that. But the biggest problem you have in IV in terms of parking, scofflaw. That's in repeat offender, and that's something I can attest to. So just throwing that one out there. It's gonna be a challenge, but whatever help you need, I can help you out.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Sounds good. All righty. Do we have any other comments on Zoom?
No.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, just we have no more board. Yes.
I just wanted to share a couple things, which is that I agree with a lot of the comments that the escalating fines are something that is really necessary to get this problem under control. And
Alyssa, do you still live in Chino Hills? Or is that a different Alyssa? Are you a public defender in Irvine? You will learn about me, you dumbass. You will learn about
Excuse
me,
me,
you
you will be
dumbass bitch. I
excuse
got all
me.
your fucking shit, you dumbass
You were
bitch. Let me
given
figure out who
giving a warning, and we will be kicking you out and locking the meeting to avoid you
I'll go to your
continuing to
fucking
disrupt me.
neighborhood and I'll put up posters and make sure I warn the community.
Okay.
They've been removed, and well, we have a waiting room.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we do a chance to screen people, but they changed their name.
Yeah. Okay,
We'll keep an eye on it.
sounds good. All righty.
Um,
Sorry,
okay,
you were,
so
sorry, you were saying.
I agree with a lot of the comments that have been made, that the escalating fine structure is really important because the problem is scofflaws and people that are breaking the law. And in the same way that the problem is scofflaws, like the flip side of that is that the vast majority of people in Isla Vista are not parking illegally.
Yeah.
They're doing everything right. And so it doesn't make sense to me that in order to pay for ADA access and support for our disabled community, that we would ask the entire community, many of whom aren't doing anything wrong, to bear the brunt of that. It should be, if there are people that are causing disproportionate harm, that they should pay a commensurate amount. And so I would make the motion that we adopt the county bill schedule and that we direct staff to work with the county, the courts, and with our state legislators to secure a pathway for us to adopt a escalating fee structure.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Is it a resolution?
Yes, it is a resolution, but
Do you have to read it?
yeah, do we, that's a good point. For resolution, we need to take a
Voice.
voice vote for approval. All right, perfect. Sounds good. All those in favor of the resolution to, Spencer, would you like to remind me kindly of what you just resolved?
It was adoption of resolution 26-15 and direct staff to work with our county, state, and court partners to determine a pathway for us to implement a escalating fine structure for repeat offenders.
Okay, all right. We have a first, second voice vote on that. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? All righty. Resolution 2615 passes. Yes, with direction to staff. Perfect. Now on to resolution 2616, budget adjustments. Reconsider approval of budget adjustment.
Great. So we're looking at doing a budget adjustment because of staff shortages at UCPD, they're not able to fully staff the safety stations at the level we budgeted for.
Mhm.
And so there will be a $40,000 savings in that budget. And so we're asking to move that 40,000 to the festival's budget, which actually is paying for some safety stations. So it's, being done in a different way. But yeah, that's what we're asking, is to reallocate those funds from the safety station budget to the festivals. We've had, out of the original $280,000 for the festival, we're mostly able to stay within budget, but there have been some last minute costs put onto the district by county agencies that we have to comply with.
Okay.
That are expensive. For example, we've been asked to spend nearly $7,000 on ambulances for the day. It's unclear yet if the ambulances we're being asked to pay for are additional ambulances from what's usually deployed for free, or if we're paying for we're paying for additional.
Right.
So we're still trying to figure that out. It's illegal for us to pay for replacement. That's in our government code. We cannot supplant the levels of service by an existing service provider. So we'd be okay with the requirement to pay for extra ambulances, for example, but not replacement, because that's illegal.
Right,
So
right.
that's one of the costs, for example, that was not originally communicated to us, that we had to add it to the budget.
Okay. Perfect. And then this also, because it said this budget reduction from the safety stations is because of UCPD staffing shortages. What happens if they, get back up to a full
This
staff?
is considering them being
Okay.
back. So we have budgeted for 3 safety stations. They are only able to staff 2, but this quarter only 1.
Okay.
So the 40,000 is taking into account 2 in fall, 1 in winter, 2 in spring, instead of 3, 3, 3.
All right. And then next year we just go back to kind of normal because
We don't know what UCPD staffing levels can be.
Okay.
So we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about what UCPD's staffing levels are for this program.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping that they can address that in the program review presentation.
I agree.
So just a piece of feedback. I'm prepared to support this. And but cautiously concerned.
Yeah, yeah. Looking, especially since the safety stations, like, obviously, you know, if no one's gonna be there, we shouldn't pay for empty bodies, but, you know, the safety station is a resource that you know, it's been pretty consistent throughout the years that our community kind of knows about and expects a little bit. So definitely going into the future, seeing, what's going on with their staffing and what this means for our safety stations, going into further years. Yeah, because I shared your concern. But for this year, I think this looks all right. Yeah. Any further board question, comments, deliberation? Yes.
I will move to adopt the resolution 25-16.
Do we need to do public comment first?
Yes.
We don't have it. on
Oh,
Zoom.
no on Zoom? In,
You know, safety stations is one of the things that I've always supported. They're definitely a necessity for when you have big events with a lot of people. One of the recommendations I could make, aside from having UCPD or CSO, what's it called now? Is it
SSP, I believe.
SSP? You know, aside from that, there's a lot of pre-med students
Mhm.
that would be willing to volunteer to command those stations. You don't need a lot of medical knowledge to be an EMT. You just need some medical knowledge, how to treat first aid,
Mhm.
administer Narcan, CPR techniques, things like that. I could do it. So the thing is, maybe reach out to the medical fraternity on campus to see if they have anybody who would be willing to volunteer to man the stations. That would save some money.
Yeah.
Tell them there's no monetary value to it other than, you know, community value. So that would be something to consider. I'm not saying it's the best solution, but it's, you know, a potential solution is better than none. So I would say reach out to anybody involved in the medical programs on campus, or even reach out to SBCC or Hancock College. There's a lot of, you know, medical EMT training people there.
Mhm.
I would say reach out to those. It's a, you know, I mean, if costs and finances are a big issue, the less something costs, if it costs nothing at all, it's even better. So I would say reach out to those programs and see if you can get somebody to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Any on Zoom? No? All righty. We have a motion.
I move to adopt resolution 26-16.
I'll second.
Second. All righty. We get a voice vote. This motion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Resolution passes. All right, moving us on to formation of an ad hoc committee for general manager and district council annual evaluation.
You have 2 employees as the board and you gotta evaluate them
Sounds good. So,
that time of year.
yeah. So do we just decide, yes, to make an ad hoc committee for the annual evaluation? Any board deliberation, comments, questions,
Can we do on the Zoom again?
concerns? Or we might need public comment.
Oh.
Sorry, but any board? It's pretty straightforward. Okay, yeah, we have employees, we have to evaluate them.
I've been involved in this a couple of years. Usually there's 1, maybe 2 meetings to a short committee just leading up to the formal evaluation process, collecting the written feedback from it.
Sounds good, sounds good. Any public comments, either in person or via Zoom? No. All righty. No further board deliberations. We hear a motion?
Create an ad hoc committee.
Yes, we hear a motion to create an ad hoc committee for general manager and district council annual evaluation.
And we're gonna say who we're gonna appoint to it or just create it?
Yes, we do. Thank you very much. My mind is moving ahead of us. All
The
right.
chair appoints.
Ah,
Okay, so
all right.
So-
Do we have any
Great.
volunteers for appointment?
I can do it. I don't really know what it is, but
I support it. I
same
support it.
time.
All right. And how many seats are we looking to fill?
3.
3. All right. We've got
Not
2.
not to do a voluntold type thing, but I did find when I was the president, it was really helpful to have a president.
Sounds good. I will volunteer myself. Yeah. No, I figured I would close out, but I
Just
didn't
trying to
wanna
impart some wisdom.
steal anyone's thunder if they felt extremely passionate about being on this committee.
But I feel much better making a motion to create the committee, knowing that it will be so well staffed.
Sensational. Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting excited for the end of the agenda already. We hear a motion to approve the formation of an ad hoc committee comprising of myself, Kylan, and Annabelle.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Second, alrighty. We hear a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Sounds
Sorry, I
good.
didn't say aye.
He didn't
but I'm
say
sorry.
aye.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Sorry, I was getting a phone call.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Alrighty, the ayes have it. We have the formation of an ad hoc committee, which, thank you, is now staff. Or keeping
Thank
me
you.
on track. Keeping me on track. All right, this brings us to the end, or should we do,
Yeah.
brings us to reports?
Apologies.
Yeah,
Clerical
no.
error.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we see reports from members of the board. This is where the board will consider approving director attendance at public meetings, public events, and public hearings to earn an official day of service. Do we have any reports from board? Yes.
I met with Supervisor Capps, and one of the things that I had put on my agenda with her for these last two meetings was what happened to our real property negotiations,
Yeah.
attempting to have a transfer of the redevelopment agency properties to the IVCSD. And at first she seemed surprised that that was still a question,
Okay.
but she said she would look into it. And so when she got back with me this week, she told me that she was not in favor of it,
Okay.
that county council was not in favor of it, and none of the other board members were in favor of it either. So she cited a gift of public funds, which I felt like our council did a very good job of laying out the case that it was not an issue with gift of public funds. Although the end of that discussion is when the Board of Supervisors says it's not a gift of public funds. So obviously, if the Board of Supervisors is not willing to say that, then we're missing that key finding. So based on that, and also her belief that we are too busy right now to be property managers, she has put a closure to that attempted effort. So I'm certainly disappointed. I think that we were alarmed a year ago when we saw these properties on a list for potential transfer into a housing opportunity. And so I would say that we have to remain vigilant about keeping our eyes on these properties and what the county might think about doing with them at some point in time. And that we'll need to wait for a more favorable political environment to make another run at this.
And did Supervisor Cap speak to the listing of these properties for?
She did at the time.
It's over. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, they were removed from the list.
Because they weren't viable.
Yeah.
Always good.
Have that. Alrighty, well,
That's my report.
disappointing news, but I shan't shoot the messenger. Alrighty.
I'll just say that I have been working on a project designing a course around Isla Vista and civic literacy. And I presented on that in one of my classes, and it was very well received. People were very interested and did not know who Laura Capps was or what is going on in Isla Vista or who's in charge. That was really interesting to see. This was a class of 200 people and nobody raised their hand and asked who Laura Capps was. Oh no, definitely made me realize that this is a very important task to take on to try to increase the civic literacy of UCSB students about a place that they inevitably end up in at some point, typically.
Right, if not are living here, yeah. Well, I guess our niche knowledge is more niche than we thought, but hopefully will become less niche. Yeah. Yes, yes.
I got to attend the ribbon cutting along with you and
Yeah.
Carrie and others and our team. Really awesome to see the new sign. It looks beautiful. I'm just so happy.
Yeah.
And I attended a meeting with staff and county sustainability staff about the prospect of electric vehicle chargers in Isla Vista.
Yeah.
And while our properties our current properties are not the best sited in terms of being set up for them, I think we gave them some good ideas about other multifamily housing in Isla Vista. And that's the end of my report.
Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, I also perhaps on a formal report, just a comment, but yeah, the ribbon cutting was fantastic. It is so lovely to see our beautiful Welcome to Isla Vista sign, looking all, young and fresh and beautiful and all of that. So it's fantastic to see some board members and community members there and staff, of course. It was lovely to see. We're, improving Isla Vista side by side. Yeah. All right. Any other reports from board members? All righty. We have reports from standing and ad hoc committees. Do you have any committees? Yeah, policy.
Our IVCN meeting, committee met.
Oh, yes.
Do you want to report on that, Cindy?
Yeah, so our committee met, our ad hoc committee, Isla Vista Community Network meeting, and we discussed at great length the various options for that group to meet. We will be going and meeting with different people individually to kind of share what we discussed, gather additional feedback, but essentially we are talking about moving forward and placing a couple of items on our agenda moving forward. Updates from the Supervisor Caps's office, updates from law enforcement like the CPD and sheriff, updates from AS. Similar to how the meetings previously were, as those were kind of the most beneficial elements for the community to have. And if they're a standing piece on our agenda, then they're consistent. People can engage in those ways. So more to come on that, but we're in kind of the next steps in that.
Fantastic. Also, policy committee met, as you all saw in the consent agenda. Today we yeah, we did. We approved a conflict of interest policy, bilingual stipend, buy local overpayment, and board stipend overpayment policy. So we are in the policy committee. Sydney sets us up very well. We've got good motion. We're very productive in there. So
I'm gonna apologize for missing that one.
that is okay. That's okay. These things happen. Things happen, yeah. But a good committee. We'll continue to see more policies on the consent agenda in the coming months. Alrighty.
And we're trying to schedule a finance committee meeting.
Yes, I need to fill out
there's
for
a
when to
little-
meet beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes,
I just did.
yes.
Just one more.
I'm the last
We'll
one.
find the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. But again, benefiting from the good organization of Sydney. Thank you for that. Alrighty, any other committee? I don't believe we have any other committee reports. Perfect. We can move to report from district council.
Nothing from me. Good to see you all on Zoom.
Yeah. See you again. Alrighty. Report from general manager.
Okay, so a lot has happened in the last month.
Okay.
On parking, we've hired our parking team. So that's great. There are 3 excellent people. And we have also done a lot of training of our parking staff. They've got more training to go. But we did do an all-day training last Saturday for the whole staff, but that was parking focused, but way broader in terms of de-escalation training, which our staff deals with the public all the time. And so we needed that. But the parking implementation is just off to a great start. We next step is we have started making these cards that explain the violation and tell people why that violation is bad for public safety. So we'll be starting to put those on specific cars that are making those violations ahead of writing any tickets. So that's the next step. And so that's it's going great. You know, our team's good. Jenna's managing well. The consultant Dixon is working really great with us. They've already come up with a new bill schedule for the county to look at adopting. So that's really great that we had them on hand to make that in less than a week.
Yeah.
So that was, you know, everything's going well there.
Good.
On the festival, Spring Festival, April 4th, we got our county approval.
Yeah.
So we went to the county board of supervisors a week ago. I guess, yeah, it's only been a week. It
Yeah.
feels like a month. But we got approved for our festival permit. We've gotten all the other approvals so far. The last thing is tomorrow, IVRPD board meeting at 6:30 to get their final approval to use the parks, but everything's been going so smoothly there. The wristbands are out currently for grabs. People can start signing up to grab their wristbands and submitting
We
their
haven't
proof.
run out yet.
We've given out 1,000
Okay.
out of
Okay.
9 or 8. But we haven't started the main push yet. You know, it's been online, but we'll be in person doing it too. You know, you've seen we had our city hood study presented today, and you know, been meeting with lots of different groups, especially like groups that want to help on it. So that's going to be a great thing. And I've done personally some of the data collection already. Like it just took me an hour to go grab all this information that we already have just to get started. I sent you all the video, but last week we went to LAFCO to make our case about what our current services are, what powers we're using, why the festival is within our powers. It was all good. We had our detractors said 0 words during the meeting. The people who had asked for the item and who had been critical said nothing. So I think that's a win for us. And then another win was we were at the county like 3 times in the last 2 weeks, but we also went to get the waste ordinance approved and on February 24th, and that was successful as well. So we got our permit approved, we got our new waste ordinance, and we got flying colors at LAFCO, and that's what the last month was really focused on, the most those 3 things.
Wow. Busy, successful month. Alrighty.
Very busy.
Yes. Yes.
And thank you, Carrie. She was there for the festival. Oh no, you were there for the waste and LAFCO.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Our staff did so great,
Fantastic.
so great.
I was actually gonna throw something with respect to Jonathan's work, and Jonathan and Sydney and Jenna. The Methodist Church has a new food scrap bin,
Mhm.
so that's done.
Yeah.
So now hopefully we can,
Made by hand. Right?
Yes. Thank
well,
you.
you know, no, it was a team effort. You know, Ricardo was there with me, but you know, the thing is now the next one would be St. Michael's.
Mhm.
So I already got the plans drawn up and things like that. So, you know, a lot of work that needs to be done, but glad to help out.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. The Methodist is where I take my compost, so thank you. Yeah,
Is it easier to open?
it is. Yes, it is. Also, while holding the dogs, easier to open too, so it's good. Yeah. They like to sniff, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. Alrighty. Anything else from General Manager?
You know, I had one last thing.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And we'll bring this to the March 31st meeting. It just slipped my mind that we didn't do it this time, but we were approached by Bill's Bus to
Okay.
apply for a cannabis grant, statewide cannabis grant, like some of the state taxes on that,
Okay.
to help provide, to make Bill's Bus free. So
Okay.
that people don't have to drink and drive.
Mhm.
And so we did go in, we co-sponsored that grant application. We haven't heard back yet, but it would have some funds coming back directly to the district
Okay.
and some for the operation of Bill's Bus. So
Okay.
we'll bring that to ratify at the next meeting.
Okay, sounds good. And then I can save my question for that for the
Yeah.
next meeting. Sounds good. Alrighty. Okay, well, thank you for that. I believe if I'm not forgetting anything, we can move into closed session. We have 2 items.
You have to read out what they are.
Okay, we'll move into closed session where we will talk about item 5.1, public employee discipline / dismissal / release authorized under California Government Code 54957B1. And we have general manager evaluation authorized under California Government Code 54957B1.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a
Thank
good
you guys so
day.
much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Good to see you.